Can everybody see me? Oh my god, what is happening to the camera today? Oh my god. Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Orange Duske Gaming. My name is Cole, and as always, we are continuing our playthrough of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Last time we started up, and this time we're going to do some side quests and we're going to continue the main story off. Alright, so let's get started.
What kind of pass are we talking about?
You don't know. Redanians hold all the fords across the Pontar. Can't get through without a pass. But you're in luck. So happens I've got a few to sell.
What? Could dress up like Radovid and buy a gilded carriage for that much.
What am I to do if you can't afford it?
Yeah, I'll pay.
Sure hope the pass is worth this much coin.
You made the right decision. Won't regret it.
Might as well still say
On your way.
this.
Go on now. You're scaring the other patrons off.
No, that was it. Well, that was a dumb side quest. This is 2 minutes.
Slow now.
Hey. Sorry, buddy.
Come out. I'm not gonna hurt you. When did you last eat?
A week back. Half a charred squirrel and a handful of
Ugh.
bills.
Don't have any food, but maybe this'll help.
Thank you. Here, for you. For your kindness. Monsters. All of them.
Come on.
Get you. I'll swallow a
Giddy up. Whoa!
Why were werewolves added to my bestiary? You know what? I don't want to know. Kind of scared me away from there, to be honest. So, alright, now.
A stranger! Siren over there!
Ah, here's Velen.
I'll not give her up, not on me life.
Squealing. They'll kill us and take her all the same.
So I'll slaughter her myself, hide her corpse beneath the floorboards. Those bastards won't have her.
Looking for a man. Goes by Hendrik.
What you want with him?
Want to talk to him.
What about?
Give me a bottle of something strong.
You gotta go. I'll open the back way for you.
Got company. Who is it?
Innkeep. Vodka. Who's this?
Brave warrior, looks like. Got 2 swords, see?
Oi, grey boy. What's the point of having 2 swords?
Wonder if he keeps an extra prick in his trousers too.
You fucking deaf?
Ah, this
Gonna
is
say
not
who
a
you
good
are?
idea.
Or do I need to loosen your tongue with me knife?
I'm a witcher. Heard you wondering about my swords. Well, one's for monsters, the other for humans. Only got 1 prick, though, in case you're wondering about that, too.
Don't touch him. Don't even look at him. Worse than lepers, that lot.
Saw one in action once. Killed a half dozen. Blood everywhere. Freak didn't even show a drop of sweat.
Got the stench of corpses on him.
If you want a rest, come with me. Or the bench you can use.
I'll step in the hut. And there's the bumpkin with what looks like his son.
Go that way.
Pretty side, I think to myself.
I see probably disguised his daughter.
Orsons always manage to hide their lasses.
Thanks for not starting a row with those swine.
I don't generally poke my nose in other people's business.
Looking to stay the night?
No. I'm looking for Hendrik.
Man lives in Heatherton,
Don't know where that is.
other side of the hill. Looked that away this morning, saw a strange glow. Imperials on the raid, perhaps. But who knows?
Anything else you can tell me about Hendrik?
Odd fellow. Arrived from who knows where and for no apparent reason. Shacked up with a widow whose husband was stabbed for a scrap of bread.
Baron's
Jeez.
men don't like strangers.
Aye, he stays out of their way. Always seems to know when they're coming. Always manages to disappear.
Thanks, Innkeep.
Greetings.
Wouldn't mind a drink?
Oh, I remember this quest. This was pretty memorable. Grab as many of those cards as we can.
Thanks. Farewell.
Them's lights.
That's so. Let's have a look. You've got a young daughter, Gramps. Oh, no. Search where you will. One of these days, you'll not hide her in time.
That everything?
Hear me? That all you You'll watch every
Alright, come on, Roach. Giddy up. Is that just gonna stay on our lap the entire game? We're just gonna carry around a griffin's head on the horse the entire game, I guess.
Them sick black ones being sent to Mary.
I don't know, maybe it'll have use in the plot, I don't remember. It's been a while since I played this game, so... There are some things I remember, some things I don't.
Air's strange. Like dropping into a deep cellar on a hot day. And the mist.
Hmm. Sorry, dog.
Be gone! Leave me be, whoever you is! Get away!
Calm down. It's over.
Aye, it's over. All's past, never to be restored. I'll not forget that ever.
Looking for a man named Hendrik, supposed to live in this village.
Aye, he did. No longer. They nabbed him in that hut. If you'd have heard the cries, sir. If you'd have heard how a man can scream, how he can suffer.
Yeah, tell me what's
what
going on.
happened here, step by step.
They took him. Took him all. The sun was waning, see? And the dusk went crimson like blood. Thought to myself, strange. The toads. I cannot hear them.
Huh. Oh god, again? Are you serious? My god, what's going on with my camera today?
I know not what happened there, save terror through and through. Hendrik screamed. Then he begged. By the end, he could do naught but moan.
Ah, actually, Smeagol. Yeah, I do love this game as well.
Just wonderful.
Weren't here long, the terrors. Yet the village froze like in the heart of winter.
You in that hut when they rode off?
No, and I'll not set foot there. Never.
Farewell, and peace of mind to you.
Alright then. Let's solve that problem. Oh, I guess that must be Hendrik.
Tortured him. Maybe they missed something. Need to check his pockets. Trousers are stiff, as if hung out to dry midwinter. Maybe hid something in his jerkin.
That guy's a jerkin anyways.
It's cold as ice. Nothing here. Should check his boots. Blood. Congealed. Key hidden in his boot. Gotta fit a keyhole. Somewhere nearby, hopefully.
But yeah, I do agree that this is a great game.
There's a draft. Gotta be a space under this rubble. Guess I should do some cleaning.
Down we go.
Interesting.
see what else is here. How often do I stream? Like 3 times a week.
A ledger. Payment for a sack of grain. Amount due for a charcoal shipment. Hendrik was masquerading as a merchant. What's this? Notes among the ledger entries. Clever. Interesting headings. Missing and wanted. Subject appeared in Skellige. Also sighted in Novigrad. Appearance unchanged. Ashen hair. Scar on her face. Avoids contact with others. Drunken swine. So-called Baron hosted subject at his castle. Or should I say, illegally appropriated fort. Reason unknown. Talked to Baron at Crow's Perch.
I remember that quest. That was a great one.
Subject landed in swamp. Encountered a witch. Conflict ensued. Cause unknown. Find the witch. Talk to the peasantry. Village of Midcopse. Caution advised. I'm being observed. Don't know by whom or why. Unsettling signs. Dog ran off. Water in bucket froze solid. Strange glow observed in the sky. Ill omen, peasants say.
Yeah, it sounds about ill.
Somehow they learned Hendrik was looking for Ciri. Thus the torture. I'm too late. My only leads, the Baron and some witch. Damn.
And there we go, the Nilfgaard connection. Repair my health a little bit.
Let's go.
If there's ever a side quest in this game that I mean, just like a main quest that is just so compelling, it's definitely the one that we're about to do, because I remember that this one took forever, but in the end it was worth it.
Not so fast, Roach.
Alright, here we go.
Quite the work my man's got, eh? Not half bad. Got him a bucket of beanies yesterday.
Faithless, who then? Can't seem to catch my breath. I think the smudger might be joking. Halt! Oh, go!
Baron home?
Depends who's asking.
A witcher. Want to talk to him.
Yeah. And I want to plough the lovely Queen Cero.
Seen this man before. In at the crossroads. You was there not so long ago. Thought you were supposed to go your separate way. Nice and all.
It led me here. Gotta talk to the Baron.
Oh, aye? What about?
Something important. His ears only.
Fine. Lodrin, let him in. If he makes any trouble, well, we outnumber him.
Careful what you
Open
say
the
there,
gate.
buddy.
Sergeants! Ardle! Witcher, to see the Baron. Don't want no disturbances. That clear?
What do you think? Blackguard called you a sergeant. You a Temerian soldier?
Not your concern, mate.
Deserter.
Temerian army don't exist no more.
So what are you all doing here?
Had a choice after the Black Ones thrashed us. Let it lie and try to lead normal lives, or continue to resist, join the guerrillas and fight for our beloved Temeria till death do us part. We chose the former.
And the Baron your commander?
Yeah. Commander.
Oh boy, yeah, I need to prepare my equipment soon.
Could use some hair of that.
Emphysema. Now those were balls. Attended a few, me and my Annie. Oh, how we danced, how we twirled.
Ooh!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Enough. I don't care how you do it, but the deliveries must be weekly.
Won't you stay for tea?
No. Besides, you've another guest.
Look at that. Didn't even stay for tea. In spite of all that blabbering about how cultured the nation is. I know who you are. Believe I also know why you've come. We'll talk inside. Make yourself at home. Hey, where'd I put the bloody vodka? Ah, there it is. A snifter.
Why not?
Ha! A man after my own heart. With Foltest dead and Natalis whereabouts unknown. Bloody hell. Who's a loyal Temerian to drink to these days?
Himself and his company?
Good enough. To the matter at hand. I'm Philip Strenger. Now the Blobtits round here call me the Bloody Baron.
Geralt of Rivia. Blobtits call me the Butcher of Blaviken.
I said already. I know who you are. Truth be told, it's the only reason we're talking. How do you like it here in Velen?
Yeah, lovely place. Be
Lovely
polite.
place. Swamps, bogs, marshes everywhere.
Exactly. Someone loses their way around here, he becomes damn hard to find.
What are you getting at?
Many have lost loved ones here. Some their wives, others their daughters.
Get to the point already.
Yeah, right. Stop it.
Ciri,
Stop beating around the bush.
That's why you've come, isn't it?
So she was here.
She showed up some time ago. Exhausted, wounded, and stinking like a soaked hound after a hard hunt. Later, I learned she'd come from the swamp.
Flashback time.
Said some beasts from the woods attacked her before she could reach the village.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you could play Ciri.
That was close. I must leave this place.
You can calm down. Hello there. Are you lost?
A little, I guess. Are you?
Yes. Though also just a little.
Does that mean you know which way to go?
Not quite. Not yet. But I'm sure we'll find the way if we set off together.
What happened to you?
This? It's nothing.
That is not nothing.
How did you wind up here?
My father brought me. Told me to follow the trail of treats and eat my fill. He said he would wait. So I started down the trail. Then I saw a butterfly, and I ran to catch it, and I lost my way.
You and your father, when did you leave home?
This morning.
And did the sun warm your face or your back?
It warmed my back.
So we must go east. Come, I'll walk you home. And explain to your parents that they must not lose their children in the woods.
We can't go home, because of the Wolf King and his pack.
See what I've got on my back? Wolves fear it. Kings do too. Come, I'll help you up.
When they say that I'm a master of this combat is a lie.
Massacred by something with immense claws. You can come out now.
My, you're brave. My father can even do that.
Mine could do a lot more. Come. Massacred.
Oh, I already.
By something with immense claws.
Look! There's something there.
Wait here. Don't come any closer.
But...
No buts. Stay here. I must see something. Bloodshot, but still moist. He died recently. Lips parted and bloated. Bit clear through his tongue. Immense pain before death. His chest is crushed. Ribs probably pierced his lungs.
Jeez.
Something picked him up and threw him against the tree. Something tore his leg off. No, gnawed it off.
Ew, that's horrible.
Stay there, and look away. What's this? Marrow's missing. Interesting.
Oh, sum all this up.
Seems to suggest a fiend.
What happened to him?
He had a fall.
I bet. The Wolf King got him.
When did children get so smart?
What will we do when the Wolf King finds us?
Good question. I've no silver, but I can make a blade oil.
Oil? You mean like we make from rapeseed?
No. A far more special oil. Of dog tallow, bull's parsley, wolf's liver, and mistletoe. The fiend will feel terrible, terrible pain.
You're smart. How do you know these things? Did your father teach you?
Not my father. My uncle. Uncle Vesemir.
There's the mistletoe. I got a no-hit streak there for a while.
You can come out!
You cut him up bad! The Wolf King will be angry.
Now there's the fool's parsley.
Do parents often send their children out to follow the sweets?
Sometimes they send their children.
Belly's all in blood.
All
Clawed
right.
open.
I have everything.
No wolves did this. Now for a spot where I can build a fire, brew the oil in peace.
What you doing?
Greasing my blade. We'll see just how effective Uncle Vesemir's formulae are.
Okay, I was gonna say, like... with what?
This way, through the cave.
You lead.
It's a bit dark.
Afraid?
Are you?
What?
The Wolf King, now do you believe me?
I do. Hide!
Will it be in
It's
the
just a
cave?
giant wolf,
The oil
isn't
you
it?
made?
Not unless we want to anger it.
Oh no, never mind, it has a beard, it's a werewolf. Ha! That was easy.
Boy, you really give him a drubbing. Never seen anything like it.
Girl, you can come out now. Come on. You have bandages at home? Some spirit? He laid a claw or two on me, unfortunately.
I've not, miss, but my lord, he's a powerful man. He's sure to help you. Might even reward you for cutting the werewolf down.
Very well.
Yeah, it was a werewolf,
Lead us to
okay.
your lord.
Now we're going back to Geralt, I guess. Or not.
Just who do you think you brought me, man? That's not me daughter.
And the little one?
Neither, damn it! I think I'd know my own child.
Well, might not be yours, the older one, but you've got to admit a likeness. That's downright striking. So, any chance for that reward?
You'll not see one fucking copper. Get out before I set my hounds on you.
Huh.
So, stew any good?
Very. Thank you. I'd not eaten in...
Clear to see. I'm pleased you like it. Had them prepare a bath for you once you've eaten. And you could do with some sleep. Gretka in the nook behind the hearth. You in the guest room opposite the kitchen.
Thank you.
Shh. Eat now. We'll speak once you've rested. So I ordered my men to watch her and left her to rest.
And?
A topic for another time.
You won't give me this information for free.
Yeah, I figured.
Sharp you are. I regret your loss. Commiserate. But you see, it so happens my wife and daughter are missing as well. I propose an exchange. Find my loved ones, and I shall tell you about the girl you seek. All I know.
Fine, I'll help you. I'll find your family, but then you'll give me every bit of information you have.
You have my word. Guard! This man's under my protection. No one's to bother him in any way. Don't stare, I've not grown horns. Treat it as a token of my good faith.
When did you see them last?
They vanished after the new moon, as if whisked away by shadows.
What do you mean, vanished?
Precisely that. I awoke one morn to find them gone.
I'll need to know a lot more than that. Can I see their rooms?
What for?
I need clues. Anything to latch onto.
I'll not let a stranger pore through their belongings.
Want me to find them or not?
I do.
Then let me work.
Fine. But I shall go with you. The doors are locked.
That's what they meant by oils. Okay.
When she was a babe, my daughter loved animals. Saw a deer trophy on a wall once. Do you know what she asked?
Haven't got a clue.
Papa's wump on the other side of the wall. You see it there? Oh, what's a trophy? I pity any bastard who's hurt her. I'll flay him alive.
Incense. And an old key.
Jammed again.
Vanice. Sandalwood. And something else.
Try not to make a mess.
Saffron.
In return, I want everything to be
Alright, let's see what's in here.
Damn ugly for a doll. The kind you'd stick with pins to hurt someone.
Huh. Oh.
Walls a different color. Something used to hang here. That painting? Right size. The Baron and his wife. Look happy enough. What's this? Huh. Gotta wonder who wanted to hide the hole. And what's on the other side. Mangled bit of candlestick. Someone smashed it against the wall and broke clear into the wardrobe. Getting interesting. Might be more traces of fighting. Gotta look around. Fresh flowers. He expects them to return any minute. Takes hope.
Huh.
Rest of the candlestick. And wine stains. Somebody smashed a bottle. From Toussaint. Yeah, Herveloos. Scent hasn't died. Wonder where it'll lead me.
Two different scents.
Damn, trail breaks off. Spruce wood. Find something else. Smells of juniper incense. Some sort of folk talisman. Protective. Question is, against what? Won't find much else here.
Well, bring out the gimp.
Think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, guess you'll just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
This way. Ah, there we go, okay.
An altar. So, the Eternal Fires made it to Velen.
Alright, let's go talk to the Baron about all this.
Done poking around?
Found signs of a fight in the room. Know anything about that?
A fight? What are you talking about?
Someone was attacked. Probably your wife or daughter. Whoever it was tried to defend themselves with a candlestick. Missed the attacker. Punctured the wall instead. They tussled too.
I don't know nothing about this. That night, I was drunk. Don't remember a thing. They were gone by the time I awoke.
Doubt you were the only ones in the castle. Maybe one of your men heard something?
3 times I asked those bastards if they'd seen anything, heard anything. Nothing. Not a one of them.
Huh.
Recognize this amulet?
Yes. Anna began wearing it a time ago.
Any idea where she got it?
None.
Any witches or cunning women in the area?
A Pella. Old Coot lives near Blackbow. And there's a cunning woman in Midcopse, but I know little about her. She's only recently arrived. If Anna were to see someone, she'd choose the Pella, not the woman. Anna was wary of strangers, newcomers.
Ought to have a chat with this Peller.
Fair warning, he's a hard man to talk to. Rumour has it he killed his own father with an axe as a lad, then went batty. Now they say he sees ghosts and ploughs his goat.
Not really interested in his hobbies. Just want to ask about the amulet.
This way.
village for the levy. And that one, hard bang the lass. Went to the village for the levy. And that one, hard bang the lass. So the bloody baron ripped him a new one.
Little prick.
Chopping's in outing to find that sheep.
Alright, let's see. Where is... Okay, that shouldn't be that hard to get to.
On a lot of you.
Alright, let's see.
Coach.
Should all be flogged, legs torn from their asses.
I can wait a little bit.
Slow now.
Get out of my sight.
What do you want?
Oh,
want to
no.
talk to the Peller.
Too late.
This ain't looking
We've
good.
got dibs on a chat with him. A long one.
Maybe we can make a deal.
We'll not plough in bargain with no one. Vengeance! That's what we want.
What do you want from him?
To give him what he deserves.
And that is?
He done conjured auguries. Said something evil had made its nest in Edric's bowels. Told Edric to eat rowan berries. Lots of them.
Ever since Edric's lived in the outhouse. And he's got hardened pustules all over him.
Just so happens I need the Peller alive. So if you agree to leave him alone, for good, I'm willing to tell you how to help Edric.
Well, all in all...
Yes or no?
Fine. Let's hear it.
A tea of mullein leaves for his belly, and cover his boils with mallow. A few days and he'll be good as new.
Noted. But if it don't work, we'll be back. Move out, boys.
Oof.
Gotta wonder about a man who could get Edric's friends all worked up. Hey, anybody home? Open up, it's safe now.
Devils. Who do they bring? What seek ye?
I need your help.
Oh, a man. Nay, a wolf. Grey, though not old. 'Tis he the Peller awaits.
Ah, this guy, I remember him.
Recognize this? Made of spruce wood, strong smell of juniper, designed to protect someone.
Freshly cut spruce sprinkled with goat's blood, then tempered with an incense of earth, smoke and juniper. For Anna, to protect her.
So, designed to protect her. From what?
Oh, the siege she was, evil all around, wanting to possess her. Old magic, born of oblivion, from dark sources emerged.
Old magic? Can you be more specific?
'Tis not for mouth speech, nor for the touch. A small protective charm, not a thing more Apella could do.
Anna and her daughter are missing. Know where they are?
Nay, Pella don't know. But the spirits could know. The Pella will augur, the spirits ask.
Spirits? Great. Fine with me. Long as I know where to look, where to find them.
Lost, must be found. Princess! None better than Princess for finding things.
Princess? Which princess?
Princess, my goat! She's fled.
Those men must have scared her off. Can we get back to the auguring?
Without the goat, impossible. No goat, won't work.
Will you help me if I bring the goat back?
Princess! Where have you got to, girl?
Fine. I'll get your goat.
The bell! The little bell's ringing. She loves it. Ring, ring, and she will follow. But for a while. But beware of wild strawberries. Raspberries, too.
Yeah, treacherous as beasts go. I always keep an eye out for them.
Alright.
Damn, you're ugly.
Could use some meat. Let's see.
This way, I think.
That's not what I meant to press, but okay.
There you are. Come on, let's go see the Peller. Should have guessed as much. What's a witcher compared to a patch of wild strawberries? Come on, damn it. Do I really have to keep ringing this bell for you to follow? This way, Your Grace.
Wrong place.
Where the hell did you go?
Bear!
Oh, shoot.
Run!
Shit. really have to keep ringing this bell for you to follow?
Come on, buddy.
Princess, flee not from the Pella, for there are wolves about. Goat of mine, dearest, sweetest goat.
Alright, you got your go pack now. Can you get me the things that I need to know?
Happy for you, but I'm kinda in a hurry. Anna and Tamara, they might be in danger.
The White Wolf helped the Pella, and so the Pella shall help him. Blood. We need blood. A living being.
Fine. Be right back. Will this do?
It was a rat.
They are not here. There is God. Blood. I see blood. Whose? No Anna. No Tamara. Just a child. A child that lives not, yet did not die.
Mentioned a child. Whose?
Why, Anna's.
Anna was pregnant.
She was. And she miscarried.
Baron didn't mention it.
Afraid, perhaps. Or ashamed, or forgetful. Or perhaps he had no wish to remember.
The Baron have anything to do with his wife's miscarriage?
Foul-tempered he is, and he's a fondness for hooch.
No doubt makes his temper even fouler. Did he abuse his family? Anna came to you, you must have noticed something.
The Pella's old, near blind. But Princess came and licked her hand.
So what?
She's a wise beast. Only comes to those who suffer.
What happened to the child?
In a grave thrown. Without rite or ceremony, it awoke. Now it wanders. It seeks vengeance.
A botchling.
White Wolf. Wise Wolf. Catch the botchling. The botchling will help. Lead the wolf to the loved ones.
Botchlings suck the blood of pregnant women and eat their fetuses. They don't help.
'Tis a being cursed, and witches lift curses. If the White Wolf can't lift it, he should bring me its blood. Blood will always find kindred blood.
Whatever I do, I gotta find the botchling first.
Seek it at midnight, near the grave that lies empty.
If what you say is true, the Baron ought to know where that grave is.
Yep. Read the... Okay, they actually want me to read the bestiary?
Let's go!
Alright, here we go. More fun with the Baron.
Whoa there, Roach.
I love how I'll accidentally do that sometimes without even trying.
Lightning strike.
Okay, what's with the bells? I forgot that this would sometimes happen. Oh my god.
Oswin! Where's Oswin? Anyone seen him?
Believe I saw him heading to the stable.
What?
Fire. You blind? Nobody willing to put it out?
Ain't that simple. Most are afraid. Baron flies into a rage. He takes no prisoners.
My brother's in the stable. We've got to save him. He'll burn alive. Him and the horses.
See what I can do.
Hurry now, quick! You, where do I know you from, eh? Ah, right, the Witcher! Come, drink with me!
Did he do this?
Pale as a ghost you are.
I know your wife miscarried. Was that before or after you beat her to a pulp?
What the fuck are you suggesting?
Don't play me for a fool. You'd been beating them for years. Finally, they'd had enough and fled. Sound about right? Shit, fire's spreading. They ran from you, didn't they?
Lying prick!
Hopefully I could still at least help these people out.
We need to talk.
Can I first stop the house fire, please? Why did the mission leave me there when I said I would want to help the people at the house?
Sit down. You beat them.
I never laid a finger on Tamara. Not once.
And on Anna?
That's another story. She always knew how to spark my ire.
Your wife. How'd she make you angry? Too much salt in the soup? Socks never darned?
20 years we've known each other. She's seen me drunk and sober. She was there to greet me when I returned the victor. She was there to patch me up in defeat. Like no other, she knew where to press, where to pinch, so it would hurt.
You beat her? For that? For criticizing you?
Oh, Witcher, you haven't a clue, have you? Well, perhaps I shall tell you about it one day. One day, but not today.
Expect me to believe you are a loving father to Tamara after that scene in the courtyard?
You're free to believe whatever you wish, but she was always the apple of my eye. She had the run of the place, ask anyone. She'd ride the horses, hunt with the men, at times join them on their rounds. And they'd send for her when I flew into a rage, for only she could calm me.
Make it sound like she led a charmed life. If that's the case, why'd she run?
I'd hardly need you if I knew.
You knew they had run away from the start.
Yes, I knew.
Why didn't you tell me? Wasted my time.
Say I had. Say I'd said I had troubles. Couldn't control my wife, my daughter. What kind of flaccid prick would you take me for?
Gotta admit, I do think you're a prick. Not because you couldn't control them, but because you drove them away.
What?
Don't play the idiot. You gave them no choice.
Anna and I... It wasn't as it seemed. Seems.
Yeah, tell me the truth then.
All right, I'm all ears. Tell me what happened. The truth this time.
I'd been soaking myself 3 days straight. Anna came to me, said they were leaving. I begged them to stay. She refused to hear it. I tried to stop her. She wriggled like an eel. We struggled. She fell. Last blasted thing I remember. Woke up in the morn, breeches heavy with my own piss. A large bump on my head. Sadly, they were gone. Know what that's like, Witcher? No. How the fuck could you? I was left with nothing. Nothing! Only the bottle.
What happened next?
Next? It only got worse. I awoke at sunset, not knowing how many days had passed. Thought it was all a ploughing, drunken nightmare. And then I went to the bedchamber, and Anna was not there. Instead, there was blood everywhere. I knew she'd miscarried. My breath short, my throat locked. I neared the bed and saw it. It lay there, tiny thing, defenseless, on bloodied sheets, dead. And it was my doing.
Seen a lot of dead in my time, but that must have been hard.
Unspeakably so. My legs gave out. I saw fields of corpses at Sodden. Saw witches burn in Maribor. But compared to this, all that was a rabbit's prick alongside a great oak. And the guilt is all mine.
We don't know that yet. The amulet Anna wore could be linked somehow. Maybe the fact that she lost it. What did you do with the child?
Wrapped it in a clean sheet and buried it.
Just like that?
Damn you! I gave no thought to a funeral. It was a horror. I wanted it to end. That child had been my dream. I told Anna, the little one, our little one, to make things right. Yet she died before she could be born. Understand, Witcher? My child was dead.
I sympathize. I do.
Thank you. And know that I hope you find your Ciri.
Deal we made means I need to find Tamara and Anna first. Just so happens your unborn daughter might help us do that.
What? How?
Sometimes miscarried fetuses, if they don't get a proper burial, turn into botchlings.
Into fucking what?
A cursed creature that draws strength from killing pregnant women. Once it's strong enough, it attacks those who scorned it.
But how How does it know?
Blood ties. They're a strong bond. A bond I want to use to find your family.
How?
One of two ways. Legends claim you can bury a botchling under the family's threshold to a lubberkin. That's a sort of, hob, a guardian spirit that could lead me to your family.
And the other way?
We kill it and draw some blood. Take that to the Peller and he does the rest.
Do not kill my child. It's suffered enough already. Lift the curse that it may finally rest in peace.
Whatever we do, we gotta find the botchling first.
I'll show you where I buried her, and I'll dig the grave at my threshold.
If it turns out we can't transform the botchling into a lubberkin, they can bury us in it. Handy either way. The sooner we resolve this, the better. Best do it tonight, at midnight.
Then wait here with me. Near midnight, I'll take you to where I buried her.
Get word to the common folk. Let us stay in their homes tonight and draw a line of salt outside their doors. And try to sober up.
Do I take a shovel to dig up the grave?
Take it. You'll need it, but not for that.
I'm still wondering why he's called the Bloody Baron.
A bit further. Follow me.
You give the child a name?
No. Why would we?
Mistake. Names are powerful seals.
Here's the spot.
Chose a lovely spot.
Damn it, will you relent? I'm ploughing now I've done wrong.
Good. The grave's dug up and empty.
What's that mean?
Botchling's on the prowl.
Look!
Oh god, it still looks ugly as when I remember it last.
Take it in your arms, quick.
And if it goes Garrity, it'll bite us in the arse before we know it.
Keep screaming and it will turn rabid. It's calm for now.
Bloody hell. What happens when it gets blowing restless?
It'll bite through your jugular, and you'll bleed to death before I can help. Tell me if it starts wriggling. I'll comb it with magic. Pick it up. Take it in your arms.
Merciful gods!
Yeah.
Back to the fortress.
With this?
As I recall, you were the one wanted to test the old legends, change it into a lubberkin.
Oh, fuck. Do something!
This would be in episode 1 that I started attacking Rick before. I remember this making pain. that. There we go.
Quiet now. But what do you want to do with it?
Me? Nothing. This is your job. Told you, gotta bury it under the threshold. If the tales are true, by tomorrow it'll be a lubberkin. From then on, it'll watch over your house and help me find your family. Need to hurry.
On with it. For the light of the house.
I hate that they teleport all over the place. There you go.
It stopped.
Chosen a name?
No.
So think of one. It's important.
It's a girl. What would Anna have named her? What now?
Repeat after me. By the powers of earth and sky.
By the powers of earth and sky.
By the world that was to be your home.
By the world that was to be your home.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
I name thee, say her name, and embrace thee as my daughter.
I name thee, Daya, and embrace thee as my daughter.
Good. Now bury the body.
What now?
In 1 day's time, Daya should turn into a lubberkin. I'll stay here and wait. You go home.
I'll wait with you.
Out of the question.
But that's my child. And the guilt, the responsibility for all this lies with me.
Time for parental impulses? It's long past. Besides, nothing else you can do here.
But...
No buts. Just Witcher's work left to do here. Gotta wait a day and a night for the botchling to turn into a lubberkin. That's it. Go home. And try not to drink yourself stupid again.
Alright, hopefully we can go repair our stuff before...
What did I do to deserve your cooking?
How may I assist you?
Looking for someone who can craft me some armor. Gotta be top quality.
Well, I've been at it 20 years now. Mastered the craft in some respects, if I do say so myself.
You wish.
Don't listen to her. She's been sore lately, snorting every chance she gets. So, what kind of armor are we talking about?
Light, but durable. Can't constrain movement, and I gotta be able to get in it without anybody's help.
That all? Sure it shouldn't be self-cleaning. And how about it wipe your arse after you take a shite in the bushes?
Comfortable, strong, and light'll do just fine.
Ought to know one thing when it comes to armor. If it's got to be durable, it can't be light.
It can. Just needs the proper tools to make it. Tools like the folk of Clan Tordaroch use on Undvik.
Joanna, I told you time and again to stay silent when I talk to customers. Shouldn't pester folk with those nonsense Skellige legends of yours.
It ain't legend, and it ain't nonsense. My granddad would go to Undvik for his armour. Said Tordaroch folk made the best. Till last year, that is, when a giant ravaged their island. Inhabitants either ran off or died, but the forge should still be in one piece.
Worth looking into. Say I find the tools. Will you craft the armor for me?
On condition you bring the tools. But only then.
These legends mention where the forge might be?
Yes, north side of the isle, in a cave. Clanfolk carved out a rock face to build it.
Alright.
Look for the tools next time I'm in Skellige. Take care now.
Well, that's something to do when we, go to Skellige, I guess. Ooh, you're gonna repair my sword.
Fancy a gander at her. We've gathered ourselves.
Show me what you got.
Huh. That could be useful.
See ya.
Why is your hair so grey, darling? That was smack. All the blacks on this plus on will. Don't give cotton that look back.
Huh.
What's that you're muttering?
Alright, now let's just fast forward things to... Okay, but I won't... Oh, I could have just pressed that, okay.
blood's power, I summon you. With your name, I beseech you. Hear my call and arise, Dea. Lead me to those bound to you by blood.
Okay, there we go. It worked.
Ever heard of preventive harm?
Wee.
What's that you're muttering? This downpour's a bastard, it is.
Mummy! Let me live.
Alright, looks like we're headed out of town. I mean, I guess that was obvious. They already left town, so... Oh, shoot, drowners. My least favorite things in the world. Of course they have to be here. Grab that from them. I remember them being pretty far from here.
Sure wasn't lavender they kept in there. Might be worth looking around, though. Clothing. They change in here? A bracelet. One of them must have dropped it. A bracelet. One of them must have dropped it. Horseshoe. No way a pitch burner could afford a horse. Both were here. I'm going the right way. Wants to show me something more.
What the hell is this?
Damn it.
I do not remember ever fighting these. gotta grab something real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, back to it. Of course you guys having to be here.
Necrophage has had a field day. Still worth a closer look.
It's a chain reaction of explosions. Okay, stop.
Examine that horse carcass. What do we have here? Bones have been here a while. Chewed on the saddle. Necrophages will eat anything these days.
Alright.
Giant claws. Wasn't a necrophage made these marks. Horseshoes missing. Is this the animal that lost one in the smokehouse? Giant claws. Head torn clear off. Takes incredible strength.
There we go. Summarize time.
Must have been attacked by a powerful beast. Surprised him. Hope they got away. Trail goes on. Good thing it doesn't end here.
Alright, how much farther are you leading me, sir?
A fisherman's hut. Seems she wants me to take a closer look.
other room. Go on now.
What you seek here, sir? Our hut's out of the way. Woeful. We has nothing. We knows nothing.
Just need information. Looking for 2 women, the Bloody Baron's wife and daughter.
Not a soul have been here, sir.
Sure? Not even passing through? Daughter's medium height, about 20. Her mother's thin, about 40. Seen them?
That sir came at night, right, Mummy? Quiet, boy.
Where'd the girl go? Your son said enough. No point in playing dumb anymore.
Sorry, sir, but you don't look like one of our father's men.
Because I'm not. I'm looking for Tamara and her mother. I need to know if they're alive and safe.
Tamara is, hi. She's to my brother's place in Oxenford. But Mrs. Anna, that's another tale. Though anywhere's better than the Crow's Perch with a Baron.
Why?
Cause he beat her, sir. Beat Mrs. Anna, I means. Everyone knew, but not a one lifted a finger for to stop it.
What happened to Tamara's mother?
For like this. I was awaiting in the old smokehouse with horses. Cold as hell and so dark, couldn't see past 2 ells in front of you. The moon had risen high, and still they hadn't come. Began to fear some demon had snatched him. But finally, they came forth, and we sets off towards the river. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a gale arose. Thought it'd tear my head off. And those damn birds, swarms of them coursing o'er the woods, raising a racket to make your ears bleed. Mrs. Anna screamed, bent over into herself. Tamara knelt down, gripped her arms. 'Twere then I saw it. Fiery marks on her hands.
What marks?
These, well, like burned on with hot iron. On the palms, inside.
Burned? Like a cattle brand?
Aye, though these wasn't black scars scabbed over. They's hot and glowing, as if they burned with raw fire.
That doesn't sound...
Why help them at all? You risked a lot.
I did that. Owed Miss Tamara. 3 moons passed, a fever gripped my boy. We thought he was done for. Tamara learnt it. Brought food and salves. We're poorer than dirt itself. She saved my boy. No 2 ways about it. Me, myself, I'd have never dared to help. But my missus told me a time of war and contempt's come. A time of folk gone wrong. We needs to repay good with good. Who stands by idly does evil as if.
Married a wise woman.
Yes, indeed.
Crying shame we couldn't save Mrs. Anna in the end.
Fine. What happened next?
Grew even darker. Seemed someone had put out the stars. Crickets all went silent of a sudden. And then, from the woods, a roar. Broke out in a cold sweat. And before I could catch my breath, a beast jumped out of the woods. Big as a barn, with horns and 2 burning coals for eyes. I thought I was done for. Beast attacked Mrs. Anna's horse, ripped its head off, carried her off into the woods. Our horses, mine and Miss Tamara's, got spooked and tore off willy-nilly. 'Twere the only reason we escaped. The miss wanted to go back for her mother, but my wife pleaded, said she'd die out there alone. Miss Tamara agreed not to go.
Thanks.
Alright, thanks for all that. Now we know where to find her.
She'll be all right in the end, won't she?
I'll do what I can to see that she is. So here our paths diverge. Thank you, Dea. Go in peace.
Bye. Alright, so we have 2 places that we can go to. first, I think we should talk to the Baron. He has a lot to answer for now. Why am I running still? Yeah, this is one of the more complex stories that I've ever seen because it's such a different tale from a lot of other tales. Like, because it's dealing with such a personal drama and
That's it, Roach.
and just like the twists in it are so great.
Witcher, a word, please.
What is it?
That night when the Baron ordered everyone to lock their doors, stay inside. What did you and the Baron do?
Gotta ask the Baron about that. Speaking of which, know where he is?
God, spends a lot of time sitting there of late.
Drunk.
No, don't drink, don't eat. Just sits.
Oh.
There you are.
See the hollyhock there? The violet blooms. Brought the plants here from Nazaire. Anna had read some story. Insisted on having them. Spent hours tending to them, trimming, pruning. She was so content at that. And them, the frilly ones, called birds of paradise in Zerrikania. But Tamara called them dragons of paradise. She adored them. Damn shame I'll never learn which blooms would please Daya most. Though it's good to know her spirit's free.
Got some information about your family.
You've learned something? Well, let's go inside. It's a bit chilly out.
Yeah.
Any news for me?
Your daughter's in Oxenfurt.
What the blazes? She all right? In good health? Safe? Why haven't you brought her back?
Never offered to do that.
How do you know she's safe? You see her at least?
No, but I talked to the man who helped her escape and then took her in. Tamara is safe and sound. From what I gathered, she has no desire to see you again, no intention to return.
I shan't trust some peasant dolt. I shan't trust whoever it is helped her. I need to know for certain she's safe. Go to her. You must be sure. See her yourself. I shan't believe anyone else.
That much I can do.
I'm grateful. Take this, call it enticement, and this might prove useful.
What is it?
A letter of safe conduct. Ever since the Redanians took hold of the Pontar Delta, they made it damned hard to get to Novigrad without one. Very well. You were to find them both. What of Anna? Learned anything?
Nothing yet, but I'm on her trail.
Well, what are you waiting for?
For you to tell me about Ciri, like we agreed.
Fine. A word once given. When Ciri was on the mend, we took her out on a hunt. Thought a bit of galloping would warm up her limbs, gone stiff from so much bed rest. That lass of yours, pure luck in the flesh. To hunt down a wild boar that size, why, worthy of one of King Foltest's feasts, were he still among the living.
Ciri, come! Our haunt should be yours as I see it.
Aye, you done well, lass.
Not bad. Not bad at all. But who goes boar hunting with a sword?
No bow at hand, no spear. My sword was all I had.
Well, you brandished it beautifully. Where'd they teach you that, anyway?
At Kaer Morhen.
Witcher school there, aye. But they only took lads, as I recall.
They made an exception for me.
Right. Mean to say you're a she-witcher?
Not entirely. The mutations, I was never subjected to them. But everything else I know, I learned from the witches there.
Know any of them potions?
Not so much. A bit.
Because you see, at times I get this pinching back here.
Shut it, Egrin. Nobody cares about your backside. A woman could swing a sword. I've knowed one. But never seen a lady mount anything but a cock proper. All tipsy on horseback. Strange on account they bloody mount them sideways.
Perhaps you'd care to wager?
Think you can outrun me on an horse? Naturally. What's the stake?
Black mare. The one in the stable.
Oh, that won't do it all.
Well, that's an awfully gloomy face. Too much of a coward to race a woman?
The horse is mine.
To race the Baron himself. I'd consider it an honor.
Oh, that'd be a sight to behold.
Would it ever?
Done. But if I win, I take your sword.
Agreed.
Ah, spam.
I'd not drink any more this night. You'll want your head about you. And we start at daybreak. Day dawns.
Ready?
As ever.
Man chop!
Come on, Ciri, don't you embarrass us!
Your sword is mine!
That'll be the day.
Kick it!
Show how it's done!
Yeah, here we go.
You're wind, not woman. Worthy of the best horse. The mare is yours.
Thank you.
What?
Another chance to win.
Another griffin or... Don't cut off there. We're just getting to the good part.
She screamed like a mad woman.
In an instant, all had forgotten the wager. Every man ran to save his skin, even worried to break his neck.
And they make it?
Some, aye. Others were not so fortunate. But what happened then? I must say, Witcher, seen a lot, but nothing like this. Never.
Uh-oh. I know that look.
You're a fast learner. You'll know the rest once you find my wife.
Working on it.
And making piss-poor progress.
They split up. Hadn't considered that possibility before. But don't worry. I'll find Anna too. So long.
Word is Baron's had enough. He's just got on. Wait, Witcher! When you find my daughter, will you give her this?
A ragdoll.
Uh-huh.
What do you say we hit the high road? Set out in search of fortune. Love to. But not till the...
Boy, lads, fancy an outing to find that she-beast?
Bring the spits, lads.
Folk don't object to your white mug.
Alright then. Now we're going off to Oxenford.
Yeah?
You!
Yeah, let's fast travel to here.
Faster.
Well, this place is a wreck.
Giddy up.
My fortune changes me.
Halt! No passage.
Case of the plague surface in the city or something?
The plague? No. We're to not let folk in the city. It's an order, so I don't, unless someone's got a pass.
This way, you mean?
Let me look at that. Missing a seal. The red one.
Impossible.
Department of Civil Defence. Not again. They're really off their heads these days. Happens, so be it. You may come through.
Really?
Come through.
I mean, is that's it? You're not gonna... Okay.
Long live, etc., etc.
Pretty crappy guard service right there, if you ask me.
Everyone to me! To me! Best wares this
Everyone
side
to
of the
me!
pond.
To me!
And everything from apples to best wares this side of the pond. Oh, I'm out.
Knock knock.
I'm looking for Tamara, the Bloody Baron's daughter. Your brother said I'd find her here.
Wojtek sent you, sir.
How else would I know she was here?
Wait a moment. I'll fetch her straight away.
Meow. Little kitty.
You're looking for me, and who might you be? My father sent you?
Yeah, to see if you're still alive. And well. I'm Geralt of Rivia.
I'm quite alive and extraordinarily well, Geralt of Rivia. Better than I've ever been in this rotten life of mine, and now that you've seen me, I bid you farewell.
Wait.
We've nothing more to talk about.
Got every right to be angry at your father, but he's worried about you.
I have a right. Thank you kindly. So good to have the approval of his hired thug. And my father worries only about what to get soused on next.
He's no saint, that's clear. But he's got the whole province on its feet looking for you. Finding you and your mother, seems to me there's nothing more important to him now. I know evil men. He's not one of them.
Shame he never showed such concern before. Especially for my mother.
He made a mistake and knows that. I'm not defending him, just saying that maybe he's come to realize what he's done, and what you mean to him.
Oh, wonderful. I'll bear that in mind. Did you really come all the way here just to tell me that?
I don't mean to pry, but I know your mother had a miscarriage.
His doing? He shoved her, she fell, that's how it started. We were alone, no one to help, blood everywhere. Worst night of my life.
Sorry. Must have been hard for you both.
Mum was in shock. She was raving that it was better this way, that she never wanted the charge. Must have had a fever. She was losing blood the whole time.
She didn't want the child?
Said she'd sooner cut open her guts than bear another child from his seed.
Wojtek claims your mother had strange marks on her hands, and that a monster dragged her into the woods. That true?
We were riding towards the river. Suddenly, Mum cried out, bent over, almost fell off her horse. I rode up to her and saw something strange. Her hands were on fire. And then that creature leapt from the woods. I don't know what it was, but it roared so fierce my nose bled. I saw it topple trees. I've never been so scared in my life. And that thing grabbed my mum and disappeared into the woods. I wanted to turn back, go after them, but the horses panicked. Now I don't even know if she's alive.
What will you do now?
Find my mum.
You realize that might not be that easy.
Don't worry, I'm not daft enough to believe I can do it alone. I've got some new friends now. Powerful friends. They'll help me.
Who are these
Who are
friends?
they?
It's not a secret.
No secret. Heard of the Church of the Eternal Fire? A priest helped me contact the Redanian witch hunters. Righteous, brave men. They'll help me.
Hence the candlesticks in your room. So you believe in the eternal fire?
Once the heat of the fire has set your heart aflame, it gives you strength and leads you down the path of truth for the rest of your life. I hope it'll bless you with its warmth one day.
Thanks. Thing is, fire's tricky. It's easy to get burned. What about your father?
Who? Oh, him. I don't care. I won't go back to him. That bit of my life? Forgotten it already.
Well, well. A witcher. Never thought the Baron would stoop to hiring a monster slayer. Though I hear you're good at tracking things down.
Glad you know who I am. Haven't introduced yourself, though.
Graden, witch hunter in the service of His Royal Majesty Radovid of Redania. I'm certain you've heard of us.
Rings a bell.
If the Bloody Baron sent you to fetch his daughter, you'd best face it. You will fail in your task.
I appreciate your concern, but I don't need it. As for Tamara, she can make her own decisions.
Noble of you. A killer for hire abandoning his bounty for the good of another. The hunters and the Church of the Eternal Fire thank you. So the Baron hired a witcher to find his daughter. Interesting.
Where are you gonna take her?
Tamara must rest. She's had a harrowing experience. When the warmth of the Eternal Fire has restored her strength, we shall see about finding her mother.
Before you go, your father asked me to give you this.
Clara? Father told you to give me Clara. Funny how he thought to buy me back with a memory. Tell him one gesture could never make up for a ruined childhood. So long, Witcher. In spite of all, I'm grateful you gave me a choice. Didn't force me to go back to the tyrant.
Hope you know what you're getting yourself into. So long, and good luck.
It's called Nibbles. Alright everyone, unfortunately we're going to have to stop here. So thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me here on Twitch. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, like, comment, and subscribe. And click the bell icon. Get notified when I'm going to upload next. I will see you on Saturday for Persona 5 Strikers. And in the meantime, let's raid somebody, shall we? Alright, Factor Alex. Looks like you're in luck, buddy. Alright, that's the end. Bye. And why does it say 7:37? I'm a moron. You know what? Never mind what I just said. Let's just keep going.
Crawl back under your rock.
You'll choke to death on 3 pounds of... You like the bat?
I feel like an idiot. Yeah, alright, we're still fine.
Quite a one my man's got, eh? Not half bad. Brought him a bucket of peanuts yesterday.
He raised tribute for him.
I had almost forgotten that the stream that we do is usually on goes for 2.5 hours.
What did I do to deserve your food?
I'm listening. What do you come to me with?
Gave Tamara your gift.
How'd she react?
Probably not like you'd have wanted. She threw the doll away.
Threw it away? Oh, gods, I hoped, despite all... Oh. Well, what of Anna?
Still don't know anything specific, but I'm on her trail.
Well, will you stand there like a knob? Find her!
So long.
These.
Master Witcher, there's an elven burial ground in...
Now let's see where we have to go to find her.
Nearabouts mid-copse.
Oh yeah,
And a
witches.
heap of monsters
You mentioned
roaming
something about
around.
witches. That's what we're looking for.
I'm listening. What do you come to me with?
Heard anything about there being witches in Velen?
I pay no heed to peasant babbling. Common folk see witches, wizardry, devils, and who knows what the fuck else every which way they turn.
So long.
Gracie, you're not even helpful. Okay, that's brilliant.
What do you say we flog some pig? You have to kick her to win them all. You won't.
Fancy an outing?
Come, you're not staff for this, will you?
Don't want to hear that.
Master Witcher, there's an elven burial ground in the caverns nearabouts mid-copse, and a heap of monsters roaming around.
Now I do remember that there's an area with like a large swamp. I don't remember where it is though. You know, let's see what this quest is. Ah, the other drowner. He finally decided to say hi.
Stand and fight! Halt! Stand and do! I challenge you!
Boots a bit big, maybe? Careful not to trip.
Halt, I say! I am Ronvid of the Small Marsh, bound by a sacred oath.
Oh, that's rough. My sympathies.
To honor Maid Bilberry, fairest of all maids I know, by dueling 100 knights to the death. Now, draw your sword post haste, for I've knights in hand left after you.
Why are you challenging me? Don't recall doing anything to offend the Maid Bilberry.
Well, why? Then swear. Swear! Maid Bilberry's the most loveliest of all.
Thing is, I've never laid eyes on her.
Aha! Ah! I shall wash your scorn away with thy blood, fiend! Stand and fight! No! I yield!
That enough?
Yes, luck stood with you. But the next time we meet...
Go back to Maid Bilberry and apologize for being an ass. Quick, before I change my mind and break your bones.
We shall meet again.
Let's try this one over here. Am I going through the woods, buddy? And why is he not allowing me to move fast? There we go. That's better.
Whoa there, Roach.
Help an old feeble woman.
What's wrong?
T'other night blasphemers, pox take and profane the shrine to Verna the Merciful. Shrine's gotta be repaired, else Verna will take umbrage. Our cows will croak, kitties will be covered in warts, and our dogs will get the mange.
Warts and mange? Sounds dangerous. Fine, I'll help you.
I think this is a new side quest. I don't remember this one.
Done.
The good gods have sent ye to me. Someone to repair their shrines from this day on.
Look, already got a trade. I'm a witcher. Restoring traditional roadside structures in wood, just not my specialty.
Fighting evil, that's a witcher's calling.
and vandals are worse than beasts.
I won't say that, but...
Fine. I see any damaged shrines, I'll take care of them. Won't go out of my way, though.
Nothing's out of the way in these parts, and the gods will guide ye. You look awful.
Now where to next? I wonder. See what's at this notice board here.
Faster.
Miss, the cows are wheezing, won't rise from the barn floor. Pus streams from her snout.
Do I look like a dairymaid to you?
No, miss, but you know things. 'Tis our last cow. None other left in the village.
Rest died of hunger, or soldiers let him off. Oh, we're as good as dead without her.
I shall give you herbs. Mix them with water drawn from the spring at midnight, then make the cow drink them. But first, you must clean out your barn. Thoroughly. Is that clear?
Thank you, miss. 1,000 thanks.
Enough. I've had my fill for the day. Go home.
She's in a foul mood.
Anyone home? Now, where's she run off to? Don't often see baubles like this in Velen. A pentagram in chalk. Managed to amass quite a book collection.
Huh.
One more candle.
Why did they have that
Ordinary
interaction?
ointment. Nothing special.
This here.
Aura. Must be some artifact or... So this is where she disappeared to. Nice.
I was wondering how long it would take you, Geralt. I'm upstairs. Don't be shy. Greetings, Witcher. Hope you didn't come to talk.
No, to talk.
Turn around and wait.
Kira Metz, deep in the heart of Velen. Thought you hated the countryside.
I can assure you I do. Now more than ever.
Heard a witch lived out here. Never would have guessed it was King Foltest's former advisor.
I'm so pleased the world's still able to astound you, Geralt. I actually envy you that sense of wonder. Common in children, knights errant, and morons.
Someone's grown irritable. Is that any way to greet an old friend?
I believe I greeted you with a pleasant view. Now tell me what brings you here.
I'm looking for a certain young woman.
Oh, really? Who?
I'm looking for Ciri. That Ciri. And no one can know, understand?
Cirilla is here. The girl once sought by the Lodge of Sorceresses, and practically every ruler on the continent has landed here in Velen, and I know nothing of it. What is she doing here?
Indications are she's hiding from someone. I heard she quarreled with a witch, but if you don't know anything, sure you haven't seen her?
I'm certain I haven't.
Really?
But recently someone asked me about an ashen-haired woman. He claimed she would stand out from the peasant crowd.
Who was it?
Not so fast, Geralt. No humble plea, no offering for the witch.
What's your rate these days? A couple dozen eggs? 3 hens, maybe?
My rate rises with every word you speak. I'm not sure you can afford the information anymore.
You're pricklier than I remembered. Isn't living in nature's lap supposed to be cleansing, calming?
Nature stinks. Oh, sod
Fair
it,
enough.
don't give me that look. I know it's Ciri we're talking about. It was an elf, this individual who asked about Cirilla. No flea-bitten Scoia'tael slob either, but an elven mage.
He say what his name was?
He didn't. And he wore a mask. Very secretive all around, but I liked him. He was intelligent and composed.
He say what he wanted with Ciri?
Only that they were to meet in Velen. He wished to know if she'd arrived before he did.
He leave any message for her?
No, but he asked that were I to meet her, I should lead her to him.
So you know where to find him?
Yes, he said he found a hideout in some elven ruins near the village of Midcopse. I'll go there with you.
Why? Think I'll have trouble finding this place?
I've unfinished business with this elf. He promised me something, but he never delivered it. Besides, I know you think as I do, that she might be there. And I'd like to see Cirilla too.
Let's go then.
Yes, let's.
Detour time.
This is the place.
Been here before?
No. I was hoping the elf would return as he'd promised, or else his waif would appear. At any rate, I've no idea what to expect from this place.
Well, let's find out.
Come on!
Well, it's certainly a temple of some sort.
Bella Glan.
See how far we can get with this.
The Wild Hunt.
What? Phantom Riders? That means... I thought they didn't exist.
Feast your eyes on the non-existent then. Got Got a navigator with them.
What?
Can you teleport us to the other side?
I'd rather teleport us home. Do you really mean to follow them?
Teleport. Hurry up.
Not sure I like any of this.
Damn portals. Wonder where Kira is now.
Oh god. Underwater we go.
Come on.
What the heck? Alright then, do we have time here to stop? Or... Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I know I already said all the stuff that I said before, so... No, let's try this raid thing again. Alright, boys. Goodbye.